Welcome back to the IPN family, and we are back for another exclusive episode. For those who don't know what IPN Network is, it is self-improvement content to help you take control, to give you direction and next steps. Listen, before we do anything, for my IPN family, for all of my subscribers, you know how we do it. It's another day, another grind. What would you do with your time? Because it either make you or you make it. Oh man, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Today is a day that you've never seen before. Listen, man, we got some content that we finna get ready to drop. I'm solely excited today. We're jumping into this financial vehicle today. I'm telling you, before we do anything, I need you to subscribe. Send it to your mama, your cousin, does not matter. Subscribe to this conversation today because it is gonna be great fire. I got two of my special guests today. I'm gonna bring them on at certain times, but today, what we're gonna do today is we're going to jump into this vehicle just a minute, all right? Y'all ride with us. We're going to jump into this vehicle. We're going to lay this foundation down. I'm going to let Mr. Ray, we was having a conversation just a little bit about something that he said. I'm kind of going to go here and, man, and let him kind of pop off and crank us off, man. So y'all rock with us a little bit. We in this vehicle, and let's take this ride.
All right. You know, a little earlier, prior to us starting to record, we were just having our pregame chat. And what an awesome network this is, a self-improvement platform, right? And with this IUL deal, we're just speaking about little things on the spiritual content also. There's a scripture, Hosea 4:6. That's a huge scripture, but the beginning of it says that my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Now that destruction could happen both naturally and spiritually, but let's talk about the natural part of it. By not being aware, or by just not having the knowledge presented to you, that could actually destroy you. But with that knowledge, it can definitely provide security. It can provide a foundation. It can provide stability for you and your children. Not only that, but it sets you up for life. How can you not be excited about that particular level of knowledge and where that vehicle can actually take you? Vernon is definitely going to go over a whole lot of things. Not only do I subscribe to it, but I take part in it. I contribute to it monthly. And there are three aspects of it that just completely blows my head away. And I'm still learning it also. So we're going to give it over here to Vernon here in just a minute, or I give it back. But just to recontinue or to revisit that being lack of knowledge scripture and being destroyed by that family. If you're in a position to where you are like, or even if you have just a simple mindset to be financially secure, not just you, but your children and your children's children and your neighbors and your family members and the people at your church. This is one guaranteed thing, and it's 100% phenomenal. So listen, let's drop whatever we're doing, take a part of this knowledge, grasp it, and pass it on, and let's not be destroyed, family.
Yes, sir. Let me just kind of, as we having this conversation, that lack of knowledge, like is when you think about the Black community. I know we can go a million different ways, but we got Mr. Ray here. Kind of just talk a little bit about your foundation, as far as like your upbringing. You know, the level of course, I know you're at the level that you're at, but there's a huge problem right now.
Right.
In the Black community, we perish because of our lack of knowledge, because many of us are not put in the environments to thrive. So can you take us back a little bit on your foundation and your upbringing?
Gotcha.
And take us on that drive right here.
My upbringing, simple, Christian foundation. When we're talking about the Black community as a whole, if we hadn't learned certain things, this is my personal opinion, if we hadn't learned certain things by a certain age, then either that thing's too good to be true or it doesn't exist because we hadn't heard about it at the age that we're at now. The destruction comes in at when we don't even give that thing an opportunity to strive. We don't water it. We're just speaking about an old dog learning new tricks. You can teach an old dog a new trick, but you can't teach a dumb dog nothing. A dog that don't want to understand, right? Now, this is something that I've just learned at 55 years old.
Wow.
At 55. I'm coming out 54 then, all right? Let me be completely honest. But I was just coming into this knowledge of the IUL. Not not only about just the simple knowledge of it, but behind us is an active backboard. You see the numbers moving. This is what's going on right now. So just not the simple words, but it's the presentation, it's the proof that we all need in our community to strive. This isn't a, what do they call that? This is not a pyramid program. This is not a something to where I make you money and then you take some of my money and then you take some more of my money and then you take some more of my money. It isn't like that at all. All your money is going to benefit you and your family. Every dime that you're going to spend, the interest on that will be compounded. And I'll let Mr. Vernon speak more about that, but more so back to your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
About my upbringing. Had I been exposed to this at a younger age, then I would have ran with it. To the listening audience, family, if you all are at that younger age, take a hold of this and run with it. You will be surprised and amazed at what these numbers are going to mean behind you and what he's going to show to you in black and white, not just his words, but in our community and definitely in every member of my household is a part of this. Every member, because we don't turn a blind eye to knowledge. Knowledge is power. And by being on the short end of that, having the lack of could be destructive. And I don't want to be a part of that destruction.
There's a phrase that a lot of people, and I know we kind of transitioning right now, say that your lack of exposure will not help you expand your mind.
Right.
And I don't know what the numbers is. I know Vernon or Ray, but it was a stat out that us as the Black African Americans, that we are the top $1 trillion in consumers, some as far as with consumer debt, because of the lack of knowledge, because of the lack of information, because of all of these different things. And as we kind of jump a little bit, I know Vernon, into this IUL thing, I really, to our listeners, I mean, you may have heard that for the first time, the IUL. So what exactly is an IUL, and kind of just starting from there?
Yeah, Caleb. Just to kind of, before we get into the whole IUL discussion, thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, I'm excited, guys. This financial vehicle that we are finna discuss today is definitely finna be something that's gonna, I hope, enlighten you. And pretty much, it's not to put you in a category to think that we don't know nothing. Sometimes it's just important for us to join seminars and listen to speakers, because you never know when you're going to get a golden nugget.
Yes, sir.
That will take you to the next level. And that's what I'm here for today, pretty much just to lay out some things that you might not know, and just educate you. Okay, I'll educate you on how to build that financial wealth that you're looking for. When I tell you this vehicle is phenomenal, it's phenomenal. And it's one of the greatest things that's been around for years. This is not a product that I have came up with. This is not a product that it was born yesterday. This has been around for centuries, guys. Centuries.
Wow.
The neighborhood places that you shop at use this same vehicle that I am finna lay out for you today. Walmart, McDonald's, the Disney World, all of these theme parks was built around this whole index universal life, which is an IUL that I'm going to speak on today. And just even a little bit about my background and journey of even becoming financially wealthy. You know, honestly, by investing into this product, I came from a family with nothing, with zero.
Wow.
And listen, man, it's hard trying to be something that you're really not. Let's be honest. We all want to be that top guy, that our girl, or human. We want to be seen. In our Black culture, we always want to be seen. We buy in the jewelry, the finest cars to impress our neighbors.
Wow.
Instead of just literally enjoying what you do have by making a smart decision. I kind of was that kid growing up. You know, I tried to make myself stick out, knowing that I was in pain on the inside because I didn't come from a wealthy seed. You know, Caleb, come on, man. I grew up in the backyard in Tilton, Georgia, man. Like, listen,
South
man.
Georgia, man.
Come on, man.
You already know.
Listen, we played ball almost against each
what I'm
other,
saying?
man. Like,
I
you
get
know,
it.
so it was a transition, man. I come from a neighborhood of just Oh man, listen, it's listen, picture you on a block, right? You know how small a square is, and it can be big, but this square is absolutely small, and every four corner have a different, let's say, hood. I'm in cahoots or in converse with the people that stays literally 2 minutes up the street from me, but that's a different hood than me, But listen, this is my block.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I grew up that way, man. I ain't no lie, man. I wore my father's clothes to school, man, trying to fit in because I outgrew my father height-wise, but he's a wide man. I got to make sure I tighten the loop up a little bit. There's a lot. There's a lot that I went through in life, man, and I was very immature. I'm gonna be honest, man. If many of you watching that knows me, but just growing up and realizing this one question that I never thought that I ever had to ask myself, because I was even embarrassed to say this. Because let's be honest, if you talk about the mama and daddy, boy, you whopped upside your head.
Talk about it.
So just being honestly, I asked myself this question one day: do I honestly want to be like my mother and my father? Now that's not necessarily means that they're doing bad or I'm in the hood. That's not what I'm asking. If they even are a doctor or a lawyer, is that your finish point? Is that something you want to become, or do you want something more? Me, my vision was more, because one thing that I was able to do growing up as a kid is sports got me everywhere. Dancing got me everywhere. I was able to get outside and travel to different places like Atlanta and all around the world doing different things with my father because he was a coach. And it opened up my eyes a little more to say, man, that little square that I'm in, it's not all to life. And sometimes you just got to be able to jump outside the nest. A lot of you haven't just jumped outside the nest, and when we grow up on our own, let's be honest, mom and dad taught us how to go get a job and pay bills and make it because that's all they knew how to do. But what if there's more? What if there's more? We have to break that. We have to break that tradition, guys. I'm being honest, because we watch our parents work for 15, 20, 30, 40 years, and they still broke. How in the world you work for 15 to 40 years and you're broke? You're broke. You don't have we watched them pull a 401k at 55 and 60 years old, and in 10 years before they even can enjoy their money, they right back at work. They're stressing because guess what? Now, you're getting out of college, you're graduating. They wasn't educated to build a financial plan for you. So we got tricked into 401k borrows and Gerber plans and all of these things that compete against the market. Why compete against the market? I used to sit back in my classroom growing up and looking at guys like, man, how are you able to afford a car and you're a sophomore and you're a junior and senior? I wish I was graduated and I had a car waiting on me on the outside of the fence. I didn't grow up like that. But there was education being taught that we were not open up to. And that doesn't mean that you can't change that around, guys. It's never too late. Every day that you wake up with air in your lungs, it's a different day. It's a different time to show, what can I do to be better?
Wow.
What can I do so I don't end up working for 20 and 30 years and being broke? Let's be honest, guys. I live in a market now where the inflation rate is up to 2.8%. It has dropped since last year. Last year was 3.2. So it has dropped 4%, which is a great thing, but it's still too high, okay? I'm in Tampa, Florida right now, and renting, I pay $2,500 a month. It's real numbers. I would not lie to you. I'll tell you a joke, but I'll never tell you a lie. So with that being said, $2,500 just for the building that I have to key in every night to get my piece. That's not including my utilities. My average light bill is $450 a month. Okay. I'm already at $3,000. A lot of people don't even make $3,000 in a month.
Wow.
Okay. I spend $3,500 a month, guys, just to survive. So if I'm retiring, let's say I didn't buy a house. Let's say My priorities was messed up. I just not started to get my credit right at a certain age. Let's say I start renting and I'm looking at retirement. Well, you're already throwing out $40,000. If you retire with $100,000, you're throwing out 40 a year just for a building over your head. How soon are you going to be going back to work? That's only probably 2 to 3 years worth of money. That's only probably 2 or 3 years. Guys, we have worked for 20, 30 years to be taxed 10 to 30% of our income that we have sweated over.
Man.
That's what a 401k is, guys. It's nothing about a retirement plan that you have put your blood, sweat, and tears for every single day. I guarantee, Ray, you at the Veterans Hospital, right? Top man at the Veterans Hospital. At the end of the day, I can say this one thing. The person that built the hospital is resting. The employees, us, we're working. We're burning the energy, our sweat. But guess what? Guess who we still have to pay? The rester. We still are paying the rester. Guys, an idea is what changed my life. Actively moving into that idea is what got me to this point. So there's a hop. A lot of people want to be on stage. You put an idea in your head, and it's a great idea. It's something that probably would change your life forever, but you're already ready to be on stage. Instead of understanding, in order to go on the stage, guess what you have to go up? The stairs. There's stairs to get on the stage. You just can't jump from the seats to the stage without hurting yourself. Or being on this platform, take the stairs, take the journey. Guys, you're going to go through a lot. You're going to go through a lot when you're on that one goal that you have to stay focused on. But that's the faith of the journey. The faith of the journey is staying on track, because there's a lot of different angles and things that are going to come your way. And just so I don't wing off topic, guys, just running this thing back into how the IUL actually fluctuates and what it is and what it can do for you and how it can change your life. I tell you this because I didn't know this 3 or 4 years ago. I only been a financial broker for 4 years. In 4 years, I went from a credit score of low 500s, and now I'm over a 720.
Wow.
I went from a bank account that didn't have $1. I don't even think I had a bank account. I was still trying to figure out how to make money, to now I can just make a phone call and put $20,000 in my bank account in the next 24 to 48 hours with no taxes. This IUL that we finna get ready to speak about can change your life by just simply listening and educating yourself. And what is an IUL? It is an index universal life insurance policy that comes with 3 major components. It has a life insurance side of it, that if something happens to you, so you can leave money for your kids, you have a coverage amount. Secondly, it comes with living benefits. So if you become sick, disabled, you can borrow some money from your death benefit to pay off your bills while you are alive. Outstanding debt, you can't work, whatever it is, pay it off. And lastly, it has a cash component vehicle that grows on a compound interest annually.
There it is.
From a 10 to 15%
Compounding.
tax-free income. What vehicle do you know out here that is tax-free? Because most of you are taught to use mutual funds. A lot of you don't even know about the market, the index market. And some people say, man, that's too good to be true. Kayla, they'll tell me all the time, it's too good to be true. Too good to be true. That don't mean it's not true. Guys, this chart that we have behind us right here is our actual economy that we're living in today. It's terrible, guys. We are $35 trillion in debt. We're $35 trillion in debt. They're showing you. And guess what? We still won't budge, baby. A lot of us still won't budge from the lack of just trying something new and getting out of old habits. A lot of people don't know how to get out of old habits.
That's part right there. Old habits.
Old habits.
Now, man, first of all, you hit on something. And I know somebody right now that's listening to this podcast, he heard that he said 4 years that he's been in the financial game. Now, I know you talked about because of our lack of knowledge, which is very important. But another thing too that I feel like that is holding us back is fear. We think of the fear of the unknown.
Yes.
Now I want you to kind of hit on, you talked about that you was in that place. How hard was it for you to take that step and that risk to really change your life? Because there's a lot of people we overthink and we surround ourselves with people that's trying to tell us what to do in a place that they never went. And we stay stuck, like you talked about, in our old habits, because at the end of the day, you can have all of these things in the mind that want to change your life, but in order to be able to get to a place that you want to get, you got to do something that you've never done.
Absolutely.
You did something that you never done. You would make some type of contact with someone to take that step. But if you never would have taken that step to look at your current circumstance of where you are, there would be no way that you would be where you are right now.
Absolutely.
So that person right now that's listening, that you're fearful, you're hearing all this information, can you kind of just walk us through it and we'll come back, walk us through, where you were in that mental state and when you knew that it was time for you, man, listen, it's time for me to change my life and how difficult that situation with your old habits and the lifestyle that you was at of what during that time. Think about 4 years ago. Literally one step, one decision, one choice changed everything. And we get so caught up in, I want you to hit on that, man, because we allow fear, man, to hold us in this hole for years and years and years, and we thinking that things are gonna change, but nothing is gonna change until you step out. Faith without works is dead. It's too many people talking about what you're gonna do, but just take us to that, man, to that moment, to that feeling.
That's
to,
life
to,
right
to,
there.
to where you was at, man.
That's life right there, man. That's man, you got me rubbing my knee, man. This the knee I hurt. Listen, man, I'm being honest, man. That's a great point, man. Fear. I remember it like it was yesterday when I changed my life, man. Like it was yesterday. Guys, I was 27 years old. I was at a bad point in my life. I was at a bad point in my life. I was just going through a divorce. Man, I didn't know what to do. Stop impressing your neighbors, man. Stop trying to be that main person and learn how to really be you and accept you for you. Because until you realize that every day you wake up, you already at the worst point in your life, if you don't do nothing about it, who else will? And I say that to say this. I was 27 years old putting together a 5-year plan for myself. I'm 33 now. 5 years, my expiration date was last year. And look where I'm at today. I put it together 5 years. I knew my 5-year journey wasn't going to start until I hit age 30. Tell you about a 5-year goal. You just can't wake up and say, in the next 5 years, I'm going to be this without deleting all the distractions. You know who's distracting you the most? Best friend, my homegirl, my homeboys, want to be outside. I need the new forces. I need the new J's. I'm jealous of this person. I'm unconfident in myself. Guys, all of that is just fear bottled up inside of you. And I promise you, until you tap into yourself and be honest with yourself, we all battle it. I battle it, still battle some of it, because I have to get out of it. Fear will have you in a place of no involvement. And the reason why we're there is because we care about what our neighbors say. Man, we care about what people, we care about if we, listen, I guarantee a lot of our teenagers are scared to even wear a suit. Do you know how clean and smooth you look when you put that nice sports suit on, man, and you walk somewhere? It's respect on you automatically. Why does a piece of material gains respect? Because a lot of us just out here to just impress our friends. You have to learn how to let that go and just live and honestly just be yourself. What got me here, because I was standing in Puerto Rico at 30 years old, and I looked at myself, and you know what got me? I didn't even have my house in my name at 30. I didn't own a car. I hadn't paid a car off. My kids was getting older. And I had to sit on that beach in Puerto Rico, And I had over about $32,000 in my pocket at the time. I never forget it. And I literally told my brother, I said, I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve to be here because it's something in me now that I realize that now that I'm saying I'm 30 and I look back and saying 29, 21, I can't do the things that I can do at 30 and when I was 21. I can't look, that image right there is, man, I look like a big child, man. I look like going crazy out here, man. So I didn't want to be that for myself. And I had to get by myself and cut things off out of my life and do the things that my mind was telling me to do that I was ignoring. Read books, spend some time by yourself, learn how to love yourself, learn how to build confidence in yourself. Start looking at podcasts, get a motivational person in your life. It can be a celebrity. It can be a pastor. It could be your father, mother. Just get somebody that's willing to teach you something, willing to shift you. And guess what? You're going to lose a lot of friends on your journey. But if you lose them, they wouldn't be your best friend anyway. They was holding you in a spot. Your whole goal is to make sure you make it to the top of the mountain. And the top of the mountain is very thin. So let go fear. Let go certain people that hold you back. And just start believing in yourself and doing what your brain is telling you to do. Pray about it and listen to God. I promise you, he'll give you the key.
Man, listen, I know we could take this, man, another 30 minutes. I know we can wrap this up a little bit, but I just I want you to really to hit on two different things, because I know you mentioned that you are 55 and he mentioned that he is 33 years old. If you were given advice, think about someone that's heard the name IUL ever before. They've never heard it. They've invested into the idea of 401k. And they're trying to transition their life, set their life up at the age they are right now. If you had maybe two levels of advice that you could give a person of how they could set themselves up at the age of 55, entering into their IUL, what would that be?
Well, the first thing I would advise someone to do, or even encourage someone to do, was do your research. Do your research and research Index Universal Life and just see how the benefits and compare what your needs are versus what the benefits are. And I guarantee you, you will explode. That's the second thing. The first thing I would encourage you to do is to pray about everything and see which way God leads you on that. But with the Index Universal Life, it's 100% phenomenal. I would encourage anyone at any age. My only thing is, I wish I would have learned about it earlier. Amen.
Okay. And Vernon, if someone is trying to set up their IUL, let's say 20s, 30s, what would be a good starting place, a good number that they can kind of position that?
Man, 10% of your income. 10% goes a long ways. We all mostly have been to church and they say, give God 10%. Well, give yourself 10% as well. 10% of an income, if you paying all your monthly expenses at 20 and 30 years old, even 40 years old, and you saving at least roughly $2,000 to $3,000 a month, take 10% of that and invest it back into yourself to build that compound interest that you're looking for. So my advice would be, do your research, pray about it. But at the end of the day, guys, don't sit still on information that you know that's going to change your life. Because I can read a book all day. If I don't take any of the advice with action, I never get anywhere. So don't always think too long, because at the end of the day, guys, this IUL can change your life in a matter of 5 to 10 seconds. I'm talking about pay a whole house off, get you out of debt free, and you're still sitting on $250,000 sitting in the bank account somewhere. And it's tax free and it's all yours with zero penalties, no market risk, and absolutely phenomenal. So guys, I would love to say, just dive into it, do your research. And at the end of the day, just put money into it, guys, and see what it do for you. See what it do for you.
Okay. Wrapping this up a little bit, man. Maybe someone is thinking about doing that IUL. What is some socials that we can leave behind that they could be able to get in contact with you of